In this video, I'm not trying to compare any of them. I'm just giving you guys the hard facts, and I'll tell you where I think this is better, like why I think Canada is better and why I think UK is better. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about the ultimate question when anybody wants to relocate or when anybody wants to go for like international studies abroad, and that question is UK or Canada. I know people also consider America, but I don't think it's as much as the Canada or UK question. So without wasting much time, let me get into it. I've written down a couple of things to, sort of like compare between the two places and all the like regular questions that you would have if you're considering any of these two places. So the first thing we're going to consider in between the two of them is how they're managing this whole pandemic situation, the lockdown rules, the travel restrictions, and all that good stuff, right? So as for the UK, when you get into the UK as a traveler, they ask you to quarantine for like 10 days, and they ask you to take tests on the 2nd day and on the 8th day, and also people check up on you. The NHS staff, they check up on you to make sure that you're quarantining and you're not just recklessly moving about. As opposed to Canada, in Canada, when you get into the country, they give you a government facility for 3 days, a government approved hotel, I believe, for 3 days. I believe people pay for it. I'm not sure how much the amount is. If I find it, I'll put it here, for 3 days. And after that, you can go to somewhere that you live, like your own place, and stay for 14 days. In this video, I'm not trying to compare any of them. I'm just giving you guys the hard facts, and I'll tell you where I think this is better, like why I think Canada is better and why I think UK is better. This is a thumbnail moment, guys. This is a very good thumbnail moment. So the second thing on my list is language barrier. Canada, they speak 2 languages, French and English, as opposed to UK, where they speak 1 language, English, as their official language. If you're coming from an English-speaking country, you can definitely find places or cities in Canada where they speak English, and you're going to very much be able to like dwell in and move in. However, this makes it easy for people that are not English speakers to also migrate to the country, because it's a dual community, dual language speaking country. And the UK is just English that they speak officially. However, the UK has a lot of tourists, has a lot of, diverse cultures and regions. Honestly, the most diverse place I have ever been to in my life, or that I have ever witnessed, is London. London is extremely diverse, like people from all walks of life, places that you not even imagine on the map, they are in London. Like, that's crazy, and that's so great. That's something that is really good about the UK as well. The next thing is population. Canada has about, and then the UK has about. So as you can see, the UK is much smaller than Canada. Canada is a really big place, and that's why they are trying to populate like the places that are not as populated, the colder regions that are not as populated. The next thing on my list is the visa process. The visa process of the UK is pretty straightforward for an international student. Apply for a school, get the admission, apply for a visa, get the visa. That's it. Like, it's pretty straightforward. As long as you do every single thing on their list, as long as you fulfill all the requirements on their list, your chances of getting the admission are almost like 90% certain if you fulfill all the requirements that they've put out on paper. They will call you physically for like an interview. I personally don't know anybody that they ask questions for their student visa interview. However, I know that they call you in for biometrics, and then you take your biometrics, you take your picture, and then you do your thumbprints and all that good stuff. However, in Canada, you don't have any physical meetings with them. Everything is online, and you have to make sure your on paper application is really strong for you to get a chance to be accepted. So for you to even start applying for a visa as an international student in Canada, or to apply to be an international student in Canada, you need to have gotten an admission in a designated learning institute. So a designated learning institute is like what they give to schools that are, in Nigeria we'll say accredited, if that makes sense. So schools that are accredited, designated learning institutes. If you get a school that is not a DLI, you're not going to be able to apply for the work permit. You're not going to be able to apply for the post-study work permit type thing. But in the UK, there's no such thing as these designated learning institutes. All the schools are okay, and you can, so far I didn't see anything about designated learning institute. There's definitely nothing like that. You can apply to any school and you're sure that, you know, to be fair, hang on, I'll still get to that. In the UK, there's nothing like that. Okay. Another thing in Canada they ask you for, apart from the regular things that they ask, like, oh, letter of admission and, you know, proof of funds, biodata form, there are two things that are very distinct to what the UK asks you for. And then one of them is health or medical check. Health or medical check in Canada, they need to do a thorough check on you to know that you're a healthy individual and you're not sick, and you can, you know, you'll be healthy if you come to their country. But in the UK, they don't ask you for that. In the UK, they just ask you to take a tuberculosis test. They just ask you to take a tuberculosis test, and that's that for that. That was all I did. That was all people I know did as well. Then another thing, the second distinct thing that Canada asks you for is letter of explanation to the visa officer. So in this letter of explanation in Canada visa process, you need to tell the visa officer why you want to go to Canada, why you chose the school you chose, what your reasons are, what your plans are after the education process and all that. Whereas in the UK, you don't need to tell visa people anything. Everything that you're asking is, everything that you're writing is to the school, and then you just get a CAS from the school. A CAS is like a certification saying that yes, we have accepted this person, she's in our school, she has paid so and so amount, so yeah, grant her a visa, something like that, right? So that's how it happens for UK. But in Canada, you have to explain to the visa officer why he should give you a visa, that sort of thing. Ultimately, the UK visa process is less stressful than the Canadian visa process. I'm not sure that it is quite cheaper than the Canadian visa process. I don't think it is, but you know, you never know. I think it depends on a lot of factors. Also, something else I needed to add is that Canada visa rejection rate is a lot higher than UK visa rejection rates, because Canada puts into account multiple factors. Also, the Canada visa process takes a long time in comparison to the UK visa process. So the next thing on my list is admissions. To get admission to almost any Canadian school, you need to write your IELTS. You need to write your IELTS, as opposed to the UK, you don't really need to write IELTS for all of them. You can present your WAEC results and they will accept it. Also, the next thing under the admissions as well is that I find that, according to my research, Canada is very much like interested in the quality of the school you get accepted into, right? If you get accepted into like their Ivy League schools, the chances that they are going to grant you a visa are much higher than the chances that they will reject your visa. However, in UK, if you get an admission in any school that is accredited and okay, like that they've verified as a school, then they're going to grant you your visa regardless. Like, they don't usually reject student visas like that. For admission in Canada, they are most likely to reject your visa. There's like a very, very high chance, a high percentage of Canadians rejecting your visa if there's no progression, right? Say you already have a BSc and you then apply to go back to do a diploma. They are not going to accept that. They want to see a steady progression in your study rate. However, in the UK, I don't think that this is a thing. The next thing on my list is the permanent residency. This is where Canada is definitely 100% times better than the UK in terms of permanent residence. For Canada, you can get your permanent residency after like just getting 1 year of experience as someone with a work permit. If you just work for like 1 year, it's very possible that you can get your permanent residency after you have studied in Canada, as opposed to somewhere like UK, where even if you have studied for like 5 years, it doesn't count. You have to work for 5 years in order to get a permanent residency in the UK. But if it's just studies you're doing, you have to study for like 10 years. I'm not joking. You have to study for 10 years for them to grant you a permanent residency. We're not even talking about citizenship yet. And that is why a lot of people go to Canada, because it's more like endearing to know that, you know, I don't have to kill myself before these people give me permanent residency. The next thing on my list is the job hunting experience in Canada versus the one in the UK. So as an international student in both countries, you are only permitted to work 20 hours per week, which makes sense because they want you to still focus on your studies and not lose yourself, or not lose the reason that you came to their country, right? So it's the same equal amount of time, 20 hours per week, and both work experiences do not count in the grand scheme of things for either of the countries. So it doesn't count when you're trying to apply for permanent residency. in the long run, or on the long run, whichever one. It doesn't count because it was part-time jobs and you are a student then. The next thing on my list is cost of living. So for cost of living now, is very relative. If you guys have been watching my videos previously, you guys will know that the cost of living in London is very much different from the cost of living in every other part of the UK. So in Canada, that's also the same thing. The cost of living in say somewhere like Ontario, Toronto, and all these other popular places is definitely different than the cost of living in other parts of Canada. However, the pound sterling is a very high currency, so obviously by default it's already more expensive to be in the UK and spend pounds than spending Canadian dollars CAD. The next and final thing on my list is dating in the two places. I don't have anything to say about dating in the two places. The streets are hard. Everywhere is hard. Everybody should jazz up. It's not love you went there to find. You went there to get a good future. So yeah, do your job, go to school, and if it's time for you to find anybody to date, you're gonna find it. So yeah, that's not for me. I'm joking, but honestly guys, I don't know anything about dating in these two places. I wondered about it a bit. I googled some things here and there, but I didn't really find any tangible thing about like dating in the two places. However, I've been told that British boys are rude men. No offense to any non-rude man British boy. And yeah, I don't really know about dating life in Canada, but yeah, that's about it. Finally, to compare the two of them, like in the entirety of them, or like of the both of them, I would say that Canada is a type of place you go to if you have long-term plans. I know that everybody definitely has long-term plans and that's why everybody's migrating and everything, but if you have long-term plans and you have like, you know, money to spare, because they might actually reject your application and it takes a while. So if you have like chances, like if you have more than one opportunity to apply for a visa, let's say if you apply the first one and they reject it and you think you still have money to go a second time, then you should definitely try Canada if you can try twice. But if you have like one chance, one hope, like me for example, I had just one hope, one chance, one opportunity to come to this country, and I was not going to like put my ball, like I was not going to try Canada because of how high their rejection rate was, even though like I feel like I could have done that, but I just didn't want to gamble with like my one opportunity, and so I applied to a more stable option, which is the UK. I also need to add that people still get jobs in the UK. I know people say it's hard, and don't get me wrong, it's difficult to like sort of get jobs here as an international student, because there's literally rules that tell the employers that if an European or if a UK citizen can carry out that job, then there's no point giving it to an international student. Of course, this is a very exaggerated version of the rule, but this is basically what the rule states. They have to give somebody that is from the country, like a citizen, before they consider an outsider, which makes perfect sense, even though like to us it will seem unfair, but I get the reasoning behind it. So UK is a difficult place, but if you're resilient, if you're determined, you're still going to get something. And I believe that's what I believe personally. I think if you're resilient, you're going to get something, definitely. So that's just what I think. But in Canada, there's more chances for you to get somewhere permanently and all that. So if you have two chances, choose Canada. If you have just one shot, just one chance, choose the UK, because even with your one chance, then you can now say, okay, I'm going to try to get a job. If it doesn't work, I've done part-time jobs that have allowed me to save a bit of money, and then I can apply to go to Canada after I've come to the UK. Because definitely it's 100% easier to do things from abroad than it is to do from Nigeria. Nigeria just has a way of stifling you and frustrating you. Sorry, I'm not sorry. That was the truth. That's what it is, period. That's on period. Anyways, so I hope this video was helpful. I hope I didn't sway you in my personal direction. To be honest, I don't have a personal direction. My name is where the money resides. Anywhere the money is, that's where I'm gonna go. Honestly, you guys, I think I'm high on something because I don't know what's wrong with my brain. I drank a lot of apple juice this afternoon, but it is what it is. So yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. I hope this video was helpful, and yeah, I hope you guys come back for more content. Don't forget to like my videos. Please like my videos, you guys. Subscribe to my channel. If every time you're watching my videos and you don't subscribe, it's actually hurting my channel. Please subscribe, like it, so that YouTube, the algorithm, knows that you actually enjoy this type of content, and then they'll be showing my content to you more often. Turn on the notification bell as well. See you next Sunday as usual. Bye guys.